Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So today we're gonna play for a minute. I'm gonna show you some Martha Stewart and FolkArt watercolor acrylic paint. So I have a few colors here I'm gonna play with, and they also both have a resist, a watercolor resist. So we're gonna see and play and those kind of things. Now, I love these because they are acrylic. They're acrylic watercolor, I guess is how they explain it. And it's an acrylic soft gel watercolor craft paint. Um, and I've used these before. I love them. I love using them in mixed media, but we're gonna try them out. We're gonna try the resist and the plaid ones. We're gonna see how they kind of compare to the Martha Stewart ones. So I just have a piece of watercolor paper and I have a couple brushes, nothing major, and then I have water. So first what I'm going to do is just wet my brush. And I don't know, let me just wet. Now, I'm not a watercolor artist in no stretch of the imagination. I am a mixed media artist who likes to use watercolor in her mixed media. So we're just going to play and see what happens. Now I'm going to put some here and show you how thick it is. It's a gel, obviously, right? So we're going to squirt a little bit of that out, just a little bit. And this is, what color are you? Periwinkle violet. So very pretty. And then I will take my brush, damp, and I'm going to pull half of it out. And what I'm going to do is take my water. Emily's still sick, so you can hear her coughing in the background. There's no way to get away from it. So you can see I can thin it out. I can thin it out even a little bit more if I want. Just do a squirt. And fun, right? So you can do that. And then I'm just going to paint it on the paper. And I'm going to take it both ways just so it, it covers. Now what I like to do is, okay, so you can see, I mean, that's pretty good. Now I'm going to go straight in with this, not wetting it. And you'll be able to see how opaque it can be. Oh, girl, she's rhyming and stealing. Okay. And you see, definitely you get a much more opaque look. Okay. So now I'm going to take my water and I'm going to just give this side just a few squirts. And I'm going to take a bigger brush. It's damp. You can see the water on there. And I'm going to pull this through. So you can see the levels that you can get. So do you see how thin that is and the watercolor effect that you get? I know you also see my light shining. Sorry about that. But when things are wet, it just kind of shows and shines. But look how pretty. Do you see? Just so very pretty. So another fun thing to do, and it could be, you could do it with this or the thicker one. I'm going to use the thicker one right now, and I'm going to give it just a couple squirts. And I am going to take, I know I have it here because I've been cleaning up today, and I'm like, oh, you know what I can do? You know these like little pouncers you get? Now it can be a Q-tip or whatever, but let's see if I wet this. We'll do the small side. I'm going to just wet it in some water, give it a dab. A dab will do ya. Let's see if I push this down. Maybe it needs to be a little bit wetter. But what's happening, let me look down here. What's happening is, as my, look, I don't know what that's for, but see, to me, this is mixed media. Like, look, I'm making texture. I'm sucking up, some paint. But you see, anyway, you can get a Q-tip, whatever, even a stencil, and I'll show you that in a second. But And you just get some, some texture in there. If you are somebody who, isn't somebody who's going to be painting flowers, let's face it. Am I somebody who's going to always be painting flowers? No. Would I like to be that person? Yeah, and I'm working on it. I'm practicing. I'm, you know, doing what I've been doing for 5 years with the watercolor. So I'm going to wet my brush a little bit more. I'm just going to kind of roll this in there, and, I'm going to just kind of go like this and flick it up. Yeah, do it again and flick it up. Let's and flick it, just so you can kind of see. Don't ask what kind of flower this is. This is called a Kelly flower, okay? And if Kelly got flowers, these are the flowers that I would want. No. Actually, something that I never ever forget, a few years ago, Yvette sent me, was it a dozen roses, 2 dozen roses? I think it was more than a dozen, honestly, but it's been a while in my brain. I can't tell you what I had for breakfast. But she sent me a dozen or 2 dozen roses for my birthday. Surprised me. They were beautiful. I still have some of them, the petals dry, that I use in different ways. But anyway, yeah, so there you go. Okay. And you can see I'm just kind of pushing it down, doing that. That gives you, so it has a watercolor look. The great thing is when these dry, they are permanent. So then I can paint over them and paint over them and paint over them. So now this is a stencil. I do not want the area underneath. Oh, Cal. Okay. Dilutions right there. I don't want the area underneath wet because I don't want this to run. Okay. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go in with a little more water, and I'm going to pull more color, but I don't want it wet, wet, wet. And I don't even know if I want to use this brush, honestly, because it might just be too much. And I'm going to take it over like as a dry brush first, because I want to see where I'm at as far as how wet, the color, those kind of things. And I'm going back in and dipping in. And again, and honestly, I mean, look, I know people, people get hung up on things. People are OCD about things. People don't. This pink don't bother me because it's the dilutions, which is re-wets when you put more water on it after it's dry. So it kind of blends in with these colors good. So I'm not, I'm not too upset about it. But again, I look at things differently as a mixed media artist than I would if I was an acrylic artist or a watercolor artist. And that's why for me, these paints give me the best of both worlds, because I can do this kind of thing, and then I can, do more watercolor and add them to my mixed media and mix, and that's the fun of it for me. All right, so I'm just going to go around this outside a little bit just so it kind of, and you don't have to, it can be distressed whatever way you want it. And when I pick it up, are you going to pick it up, Cal? That's the question. But look how cute. I mean, look how cute. Now you can go in and put, maybe you want to like trace these. I dig the way it kind of grasps on the outside of the stencil, but again, that's me. But these are very thin, and I'm in a hurry and I'm going back and forth. You don't have to, and you won't necessarily get those everywhere, if you know what I'm saying. But I mean, how cute. Just so cute. Just so cute. And you can see I'm taking my brush because this is, dry. It's still a little wet, but you can see the pink that mixed in with that purple, how it changed that color a little bit. Let me just show you one more time. The dilutions. But you see how it's layering on top of, and it's not mixing, it's layering on top. It's just so much fun. All right. I love. Okay, so these are the Martha Stewart ones. Now, put my brush in there, and I'm going to wipe this up. I hate wasting, but I just don't have the capacity right now to do the thing. Now let's use the FolkArt, and let's go in with Opera, I guess. Okay. Opera. or otherwise known as 18113. Okay. And you see, I didn't dry these or anything yet. Not worried about it at the moment. I will, just so I can show you a few other things, but we're going in with this. Again, now, what I like about the FolkArt ones more than the Martha Stewart ones. And look, Martha Stewart's part of FolkArt, so I'm not, it's not like, oh, I only like FolkArt. No, I do enjoy the Martha Stewart ones. I have a lot of them, and I love painting and doing things with them. That's not what I'm saying. But if you see this came out so smooth. The Martha Stewart ones, as much as I shake them and mix them and do all that kind of stuff, they ploop out and they're like cottage cheesy in a way. Now, it doesn't affect anything. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but I'm just somebody who, I don't know, I like it smoother because I think I can work with it smoother. And then we have this color, which is ultramarine, which how do you go wrong with that? And then we'll just put a squeeze here. I don't need too much. I'm going to do the same thing though. I'm going to turn it this way so I can work up there. And we're going to kind of do the same thing. So first thing I'm going to do is take my brushes. I'm going to clean them, get them damp, but not too damp. Nobody wants to be too damp. Okay, so I'm going in with this one first, and let's see what they're like. I'm going to go light to dark, so I'm going to pull some of this out, and this is much more gel-like, I guess, is what I want to say. So I'm just adding a little bit. Let me read. Let me see. My poor daughter. Okay, indoor, outdoor, satin sheen, create watercolor effects used on paper, wood, canvas, fabric. Shake well, thin it with water, and apply as desired. The addition of the more water will color lighter and more transparent. Yes. And that's pretty much what the Martha Stewart one says as well. So I got some water here. Let's see how transparent we can get. So, that's nice. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to do a little bit more water to see how much thinner we can get. A little bit more water. And I'm not pulling any more color in. I'm just adding more water. And then one more. Look at that, how pretty. And there's like 4 different shades you can go. So you can see, you can shade, you can use this just like watercolor where you could shade your pieces or what have you. So not mad at that. So now I'm going to just rinse that off. I'm going to put that here. Got a damp one. And I'm going to go in with it straight to show you. And I'll just kind of do less with what's left on there. Oh my goodness. I mean, look at that. Look at that. How pretty. If the light wasn't so, I sit down to film and then the sun goes in and out, the light, I don't know. I'm trying my best, but look how cool. Oh, love it. Love it. Love it. And let's rinse our brush. I'm going to dab it, a little dab for Angie. Going to do the same kind of thing where I just pull out some of it. Let's see what this color is like. Look at that, how pretty. Look at that. Now, never be afraid to play with your art supplies, and it doesn't matter what it is. Watercolor, this, that, the other, because I have a piece of watercolor paper here and I'm just, you can see, just trying it out, seeing what I can do. And what will happen now is when this is dry, I will start it as a mixed media background for me, or paper, or whatever I want to do. But let me just show you how cool. Look at this, how cool this is with those different colors in it. I mean, that's with it, the bottom layer dried, and then some more purple, and then some of that pink on top is just gorgeous. Gorgeous. So yeah, I really like this color. Now I'm going to go in with not diluting it. And you can see, and you can layer this as well. You want it a little thicker, darker, layer, like I'm doing here. Oh, look at the, I mean, look at the difference that you're getting. How beautiful. You're getting bang for your buck, more bang for your buck. Maybe you don't want to be banged. Sometimes I like to be banged. And when I'm banged for my buck like this, I'm happy. Okay, so you can see this. So let's do a stencil. Same stencil. You can see the dilutions on the back of that. But it is what it is. And I'll go in with, I'll just go in with the pink. And I'll start in the middle just because that's a lot of paint I have on here. And then I'm just going to pull it in. Pull it in. My brush is going to be cleaning off whatever purple and pink's on there. You can see how dry my brush is, right? Look at that. So dry. And then you can go in if you want more. I'm going to add some purple. And remember, you can play and move and take off a little bit until it's dry. When it's dry, it's permanent. So then we're doing this. Just do this here. Okay. I think you get picking up what I'm putting down. And then look, see? So you can see, I mean, they're beautiful paints, both of them. I do dig the FolkArt ones a little bit better. I think they're smoother, but that's just me. Again, you know, do you boo. So I'm going to do the little flower like I did here with some of the blue to see, you know, but really, I mean, look how much fun. And you can do the same thing. You want to pull some circles up or, you know, whatever, by all means, go ahead. Okay, so I'm going to wet my brush. I'm going to dab my brush. I'm going in with some paint. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's do it here. I'm just going to... I don't have as much paint left, but... a little bit more water. Plus, it's so hot here. Everything's drying so fast. But you can, yeah, you can kind of see it's not my best. Oh, ear itches. Not my best. So here you go. So much fun to play with and to, you know, just paint. Like I said, you know, in a world nowadays when money is very tight and you don't have a lot of money and you want to make, you know, do an art journal page or paint or whatever, I mean, you can see the difference in all of the colors of the more water you add, the lighter it gets, the more transparent, the more opaque, and it starts here and we can get it. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is a lot of fun. Now, we do have the Watercolor Resist, and I'm not going to do this today, but we will. Again, you can use this on paper, wood, canvas, fabric, decorative purposes on glass or ceramics. Okay, maybe, let me see, do I have another? No. I will do this in another video. Unless, maybe I can do it on here. Let me try. Let's see. It takes an hour to dry, so obviously I don't have an hour, but... my golly. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of that out. I'm going to take a clean brush. Now you can use like a makeup sponge or whatever you want, you know, but I don't want it too wet. I'm going to dab on both sides and then I'm going to go in and I'm just going to paint it over like I did. And make sure your brush is dry. And I don't know where I'm painting, so that is, you know, a good thing. It might be the whole thing. Who knows? Now, the first thing I usually do will go in with my heat gun. Okay, now you can see kind of where the dilutions come off in the back. I like to go in with my heat gun and dry this. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's try it, okay? Just to see. And I'm going to hold the heat gun far away. Now, if you don't have a heat gun, you can use a hairdryer, which might even be better in this case. I think a hairdryer is better to dry paint in general a majority of the time because you really only need this heat if you are embossing. And we're not embossing. But if you have a hairdryer, that's fine. Otherwise, it says an hour and it'll be dry. So go watch, you know, your favorite TV show or listen to music or a couple of videos and you'll be good to go. This stuff is so much fun. All of it. All of it. Like I said, a heat gun, you gotta just keep moving it. You can't keep it on there. It'll bubble. It'll bake it almost, cook it. That's why I like using this when I want to set some of my polymer clay before I fully bake it. And even thin pieces and liquid polymer clay, I just use this. So exciting. What I'm going to do, okay, the last thing I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to give that a second to kind of cool off. I want to show you, I have in gold the watercolor. I thought I pulled, no, I don't have that in gold. Okay, so I have some gold watercolor. So let's see. Well, that dries for a second. Let's see how the metallic works. Okay, and this is Martha Stewart's. I'm not fully sure if FolkArt has gold. I'm sure they probably do, but. And I'm just going to take my brush and I'm going all the way in. I'm not going to worry about how thick it is. Because I can use my paper as a palette, really, and once I put it on, I can spread it. I could sit here all day because I love squirting water down. Maybe I'll do that. I love this. Squirting some water. And then let's take some of the paint and just kind of let it run. Just dabbing it around. That's metallic. You're not going to be able to see as well with the metallic running. But let me see. I'll just do this here. Metallic. You see how you can definitely play with it and layer. Look, goes right over the purple without bothering it. Now doing this, it reconstituted some of that color. So I'm going to mix it all together. Let's see what we got. Hey, and of course you can always take your paper and just set it down and everything, right? So yeah, it's metallic-y. Like I said, you really can water this down. Paint over things, fill in the dots, you know. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. So let me dry this real quick. So if you have like a styrofoam plate, plastic palette, okay, and you use these, this will dry, and then you can go tomorrow and use it again. Just add water, add your wet brush, and you're good to go. So you're not wasting, you're just playing. And who doesn't just like to play? This should be a little okay. And the paper, you can see the paper is buckling a little bit. It's watercolor 140, I believe. Canson, I think. But it always does. And if you spray the other side, it'll flatten. That's a little trick. Let me show you. I do this even when I use printer paper. So you can see how it's kind of like, you know, a little like that. But if you kind of just give it a couple sprays and then turn it back over, you'll see it'll start straightening out. Or will it? I don't know. This part right here is going nuts. Okay. So now let's pick a color. Come on, you. Put you this way then. Let's pick a color to go over it. So you can see, do you see it? How you can see the resist? Let's go in with, I want a dark color so you guys can see it. Maybe we'll do this blue just for the heck of it. I'll just do a little floop right there. And then I'm going to take my paintbrush, going to clean it off, Gonna dry it. I don't need it too dry, but I don't want it too wet. And I'm going in and I'm picking it up. And this is definitely jellier. Has more gel to it. And then I'm gonna do this. Maybe I shouldn't have wet it as much. Might have to get more. So let's do this. A little bit more. Won't hurt you. Okay. Let's go a little darker. There we go. And then what I'm gonna do, see how it's just coloring, and I know you're like, what are you doing? I want to show you. Okay. So now I'm gonna dry it. And just think of what you can do. You could put this in a bottle, a squirty bottle with a lid, a needle cap, and write words. You can use this on stencils. So many things. You can use a stencil with a word and put it over this, and put the resist, and then wipe. I mean, there's so many things. So all I'm doing now is I'm going to dry this. Okay, that should be okay. Dries fast, it's not an issue. And then I'll give it a second to dry off, and then, or cool down rather. I mean, just how much fun. I could sit here all day. All day. Well, let me show you. I don't know if you can see the metallic in there or not. Not really well. Thank you, lights. It's pretty though. I mean, it is pretty, and it has this really pretty sheen to it. And it's kind of being blown out right now, but yeah. It's very pretty. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to squirt a little water on there. I'm going to take a paper towel, whatever you have, and then I'm going to give it a wipe. And what's happening is, can you see it? How it's coming out? It's taking off. It's keeping around the darker color and the lighter color. Watch. Oh, it's so pretty. It's almost like tie-dyed. Look how pretty it looks. Just give it a second. My paper towel might be like too soft, too wet, and nobody wants that at the moment. So we'll try a different one that's a little drier. There we go. I mean, look how pretty. And again, you do it, you know, the way you want to do it. I do, you know, I do it my way, but I would love this in the mixed media. Look how pretty is a layer. Oh, that's definitely going to be a layer. But you see, and then you just knock everything over, because why not? Again, I'm going to spray a little bit more right here just to show you. My dog is going nuts. What, babe? There's nothing I can do for you, babe. But you can see, you know, oh, just so nice. Okay, that's all that's going to be coming up. And you see over here. See how it comes up? Because this is where all the mask is in here. So that pink and everything that was underneath is like kind of coming through, right? It's just, oh, just so pretty. And we had all the different colors there. They're dark pinks, you know, the thing. So I just kind of do that, turn it. Sometimes you gotta be a little rougher. But at the end of the day, you see that, how pretty? What it's doing? It's bringing all that color up. And then the dark is staying around. So I love it. I am not mad at it at all. I am very excited to add this all into my mixed media and to play around and even learn more about these and do a full, you know, maybe even a full watercolor painting. Will I? I don't know if I have enough nerve to because I'm just not good at it, but I am going to be good at it. Gosh darn it. And as always, please be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. I love you guys so very much. Let me know down below what you guys think about this. And, you know, if you would like to try any. And, you know, you never know. I will tell you guys this. When you guys leave comments and stuff, something that I'm going to try to do is I'm going to start picking somebody in the comments and then sending them a little something. It's not going to be a big ass box of stuff, but it'll be something, an art, you know, maybe something art related, or, you know, maybe a little something I drew or painted, or paintbrushes, or who knows. So always keep that in mind. Leave comments, because that's what I'm going to keep. That's what I'm going to start doing, because I just love you guys and I can't figure out better ways to do giveaways. Now, here's another thing. Because I mailed out a ton of stuff the other day. If for whatever reason you did not get something from me yet, please nicely write me on Facebook and just say, hey, you know, because let me tell you something, my life has been just a lot going on, and, you know, very, with all the medications and illnesses and everything I deal with, sometimes I'm a little, you know, spastic and don't remember things. So by all means, don't feel funny. Please write me and say, hey, you know, this, that, the other, and then I will make it good for you and make sure that you get that. Okay. So that's it. Progress, not perfection. Let's play and have a blast. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.